All right, what is happening, folks? Today we're gonna do an unboxing and install of a onboard marine waterproof battery charger for my boat. So I have dual batteries in this boat. They're both glass mat or considered AGM batteries. This Noco Genius Gen 5 X2 is what I'm going to be installing. This was on Amazon for like 127 bucks. I did buy the Minn Kota version of this, which is the 2-bank, 5 amp a piece charger. The thing is massive, so I actually opted to return that and go with this because small boats are limited for space. This is only a 16.5-foot boat. So let me show you my current battery setup, and I will show you what I used to charge with, which is just a little 5 amp charger, and then I'm gonna do an install video on this. It's gonna take me a little while to install it, so I'll kind of zoom through as much as I can, but should be pretty self-explanatory. Mount it and get it all set up. So what I have for a battery setup is two batteries under here. 1, 2, and then I have a 60 amp circuit breaker because I'm running the 80 foot-pound Minn Kota Tarova 24 volts. So I have these in series, not in parallel. If you want to do up your battery usage or patrolling time with 2 batteries, you could run them in parallel for a 12 volt model. And I'm only running a short distance, so I'm running from there to there. And then I have connections that are a little tight here, which I'll upgrade eventually. So I have only very limited space, so I either plan on mounting the battery charger that's waterproof under here, which is this battery box I just made out of cheap plywood. Well, not really cheap, but it's not marine grade. So it's starting to mold and stuff already, but I wanted to have a proof of concept, see if I liked it. And so I might actually put it in here and then run the cables through both sides to charge on both sides. And that way I can just plug in with 120 volt, charge overnight. And this does a bunch of stuff like auto sulfation and accounts for temperature and a bunch of other stuff. So let's get to the install, or actually let's get to the unboxing. The Noco Gen 5 X2, which means it's a 5 amp hour per battery, or 5 amp, 10 amps total, 12 volt system. So we're just gonna open this up. Comes in a nice plastic wrap thing. And it's super hot and humid out. We've had rain for like a bunch of days, so if you see me sweating, that's why. It's not like it's hard, it shouldn't be hard to install. Nice box. That thing is way tinier than the Minn Kota. The Minn Kota one is like the size of this box plus a little bit. Was literally insane. And it should come with a little bag of self-tapping screws. And here's the module. It's not actually super heavy, which is kind of nice. I'm going to undo the zip ties real quick. And you might be concerned that like this is the 24 volt system, but this is the 12 volt system. These charge each battery individually, so they're 12 volt batteries, not 24 volt batteries. And this has got 3-year warranty, which is awesome for electronics. And so here's the module. It's not very heavy at all. I'll leave the specs for this below and then dimensions, because that's one of the reasons I kind of like chased after it, bought this one for a couple more bucks than the Minn Kota one, is it's way smaller, more compact, and it's waterproof, and it's got this nice little rubber grip stuff on the back so it can mount and you don't have to worry about slipping around very much. And it's got a bunch of different modes. So we have AC in, and then we have these cool flat style cables, some little slidable grommets here. That's kind of cool, so you can spread your terminals out if you want to and have them stop spreading, so you can actually pull these apart like that, and you can move that up to stop that cable from moving. And you also have, which I'm not a big fan of, is mini blade fuses, 7.5 amp hours a piece. So that's just over that 5 amp charging. You shouldn't go through that unless you have a problem, which is fine. So I'm probably going to get a couple more of those in stock in my boat in case I need them to charge. So we need to find a spot to put this, like I had stated. And my first thought is to put it nice in here, but if this is waterproof, I'm more thinking down here, and then I don't have to open my cubby holes every time I need to go charge. So mounting it under there with a couple wood screws would be nice and easy, but I'd have my extension cord kind of chilling out on the floor and having wires kind of out, which probably wouldn't look too pretty. Or what I can do is I can place it in here. Let me show you in there real quick. This is just some salt to dry some stuff out. I can mount it to that panel, I can mount it to that panel. With some of those self-tapping screws. What you want to be concerned about is do not drill through. So that is the hull of my boat. That is the bottom of my boat that I just wood that I can easily drill through and place it right there and run the connectors through. But I also want to have a chance to read it and put it in the correct mode. It will remember what mode I put it in as I'm running it, basically, so I don't have to reset it every time I try to plug it in. So let me think for a little bit about where I want to put it. Really hard to see, so I'm going to flip the camera upside down and then flip it post. I'm going to put the unit right here with the self-tapping screws that were provided by Noco, which is fantastic. So it's going to take me a minute to get them in there, but basically mounted on a nice sturdy surface that's not going to move because the front of the boat is going to be bouncing around, of course. The power cord I'm going to yank out when I need to charge, which is the 120 volt one that looks normal. And I was going to mount it outside, but there's going to be wires bouncing around. I don't want that. And then this boat has a vent that was covered by this little piece of stainless steel, little vent here to let air out of that, which doesn't really work that well. Actually lets more water in than air. I'm going to run the wires right through that, into this little mouse hole that I made on this side, connect it to my battery 1, and then connect it to my battery 2, and then plug it in, and we'll see if it works. And I'm using power tools for this, of course. And like I said, make sure you don't drill through the outside of your boat. I'm not doing that, obviously, but make sure of that. One way or another, the boat will leak if you do that. All right, hard part is done. Sweating like crazy. Now we have to run cables for battery 1 first. So I'm just gonna run them down and out of the cubby hole here, and your boat may differ. If you are doing holes similar to that, I'm going to eventually get a plastic bushing to put in there. I just don't want to do it right now because the hardware store is closed, and I will get a measurement of that and then go get a plastic bushing so the wires don't rub against metal that will make them fray and put sparks everywhere, or make a live hole, which you don't want. And I'm sure it's really hard to see, guys, but this is positive on this side and negative on this side. We're gonna connect red to positive. It has a little positive symbol right on it, which is great. And then negative to negative. I want to make sure both of the fuses are readily accessible. I don't want them buried anywhere. That will take a long time to replace if I need to. And the reason my battery's out, if I haven't said already, is just because there's no storage in there for any sort of bait and tackle if I have 2 batteries running that. But I'm very glad I bought a 80 foot-pound. A little overkill, but it's free to run compared to the gas motor. And I'm going to do the same thing for this side, positive to positive, negative to negative, and don't really worry about the colors of my wires because they are not consistent with the standard of red is positive and black is negative, because I didn't have a black jumper cable when I did this battery setup. That one's installed, and let me just hook the wires up there a little nicer. Look behind the battery. And now we gotta get the power cord. Take off the little protector thing, which I don't need. Get the power cord on and take the drill out. I'll show you guys how it's mounted in there again. Basically just mount it sideways so I can read it like a normal human. And I'm gonna switch it to AGM mode. So let's get this fired up. Stand back once it plugs in. No sparks. And then we'll go in here and we're gonna select the mode. AGM, and that's it. And I'm getting a reading on both. That means it's good. So that's the installation video of the Noco Gen 5 X2. It was a small model compared to the Minn Kota, that's why I bought it. It's about $127 off Amazon. I'll leave the link to that below. And I'll also check back in with the description below in a month or two to see if it's actually working and saving me some time, because I was switching one charger back and forth, which was too much of a pain. And it's a lot smaller than the Minn Kota one. So hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys liked this video and found it useful, hit the thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button for more how-to videos. I'll be doing a lot with the boat here shortly, and I'll be doing a video on all the improvements that I've added in the boat so far, because small boats can be decked out pretty cool. Thanks for watching.